What is going on, everyone? It's Jay the Black here, of course. Another video. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at unofficial J. You see it on the screen. It's also in the description if you want to know the link as well. I'm gonna start putting those links in the description box as far as Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Y'all go and follow me. Shout out to everybody who's been following me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. All right, so y'all can get these notifications to these videos. Y'all know I put up some very good content. Not very good, great content. I want to talk about, actually I have a couple of different articles, okay? But this is one in particular from the Chicago Tribune, okay? Now this article is about a year old, but the premise is still the same. And it talks about online dating and what qualifies as being out of your league. Now, you know, I have spoken on this. I probably haven't spoken on it as recently as I've wanted to. But in all of the red pill content I've been making, putting that logic out there, putting logic inside of these videos, we do have to be realistic to the guys that want to hear this. Now, there's going to be guys who listen to this video who have no interest in dating. I'm not speaking to you, okay? This is the guy, and there's a lot of guys out there that still want dating advice, and that's what I'm here to do. I'm not a dating coach. I'm not a dating coach, but I am here to give advice when it's needed. Now, I'm going to give you real advice. I'm not going to make it seem like everything is good, everything is great, it's all the woman's fault. No, we have to look ourselves in the mirror. Now, this could go for men or women in this situation, but I'm primarily wanting to reach a lot of you guys out there that find yourself trying to find that one for you and you just can't do it. But I will say this though. Always be yourself. Don't try to be like nobody else. Don't try to be like me. Don't try to be like none of these other guys, these dating coaches, whoever that you listen to. Be yourself, because at the end of the day, women like uniqueness. This is why they gravitate towards, you know, certain individuals, because they have a certain uniqueness about them. Doesn't mean they're going to date that person, but they're drawn to them, you know? All right, let's take a look at this article. It says online dating now is one of the primary ways people meet partners, and researchers can use data from dating apps to observe and quantify romantic attraction and pursuit. In other words, all of those terrible online messages and first dates are being donated to science. Yes, they're using our data to basically study us. A study out Wednesday in the journal Science Advances described a hierarchy of desirability in the messaging tactics of online daters. It also found that both men and women messaged potential partners who were on average 25% more attractive than they were, which means that we're out here searching for people who look 25% better than us. And I think that's where they get the dating out of your league. There's a lot of people out here who are doing that, and that is why they're struggling when it comes to dating. You're trying to date people who have way more options, and you're gonna get lost in the shuffle. I'm not saying that you should date an unattractive woman. What I'm saying is that you need realistic expectations. Have more realistic expectations when it comes to the women that you are pursuing. You know, you have guys who are out here trying to get an 8 and a 9, and they themselves are a 4 and a 5. They themselves don't have confidence. They don't have, you know, their financial situation in a good, you know, in good order. They don't have a personality. Women are drawn to personalities. I don't care how attractive a dude is. If that dude opens his mouth and he's not that, you know, he has no personality, yes, she's gonna be around him because he's nice to look at, but eventually she's going to be turned off. The study analyzed heterosexual dating markets on an unnamed popular free online dating service in 4 major U.S. cities: Boston, Chicago, New York, and Seattle. The number of users totaled in the hundreds of thousands. User data were anonymous and did not include personal details or message content. Scientists looked at age, ethnicity, and education of the users and quantified the messages exchanged through the service. Desirability was defined by the number of messages someone received, as well as the desirability of the people sending those messages. Well, basically is like we want to see how many people were messaging that person and who that person was replying to. Because you see, the thing about online dating is you put yourself out there, right? And you have to get chose. It's just like Tinder when you're swiping left or swiping right. You know, the study included only heterosexual users to simplify the analysis, Burt said, but she said the research methods can be used for other groups. Some previous studies have shown that ethnicity has an effect on desirability, but others have shown that it does not matter. In this study, white men and Asian women ranked highest for desirability measured by the messaging metrics, and men and women contacted potential partners who were on average 25% more desirable than they were, which doesn't surprise me. White men are considered to be at the top as far as dating picks with a lot of different cultures, because once again, it's the messaging, it's who's out there, who's perceived to be the most desirable. And then you got Asian women who are very desirable. I believe they're just as desirable, if not more, than Caucasian women, you know? So I can see that. So what this tells me is that maybe the people who are messaging those particular groups are people who may not be getting replies back, or I guess they're gauging it off of, you know, who you are, your race, your age, your gender, and are you getting responses towards who's getting the responses, if that makes any sense to y'all. Let's see. What would it mean scientifically for someone to be out of your league? Asked Elizabeth Birch, lead author of the study and the sociologist at the University of Michigan. This question, along with many others about mate choices, are now answerable. She said, there are so many folk theories about dating and what are the rules of dating and the strategies that people have. She said, it hit us like, oh my God, we can see if this is actually working. People in dating have all these strategies, like you don't call at 10 p.m. on Friday night, and we don't know if that actually matters. These things are knownable. They're not just things you can speculate about with your friends. Well, I don't think it's a direct science to dating. I don't think there's a direct science to it. I just think that, you know, people for the most part are going to choose what they like. And I think that where we are as a society, I think that people have too many options. I think people have too many options. And because people have too many options, it's going to make it very difficult to really find what you're looking for. Now, this is another article here that I want to show y'all. It says, dude, she's exactly 25% out of your league. A massive new study on online dating finds that everyone dates aspirationally, and that's a woman's desirability peaks at 32 years before a man does. Did y'all know they say that women mature faster than men? Well, they get out of the dating market. Their dating market value diminishes faster than men. So there may be a correlation, you know. You're at a party and you see someone cute across the room. They glance at you, maybe even smile for a second, then carry on with their conversation. You feel the room shrink, your heart rate quicken, your face go red. You're crushing on the stranger hard, but then the sensibility part of your brain tells you to forget it. that person's way out of your league. Wait a second, you counter. Do dating leagues even exist? Now, this is the same person, right? This is the same professor of sociology. At this point, Elizabeth here crashes into your thought process in this news article. Yep, she says leagues do seem to exist, but you're not alone in trying to escape yours. 3/4 or more of people are dating aspirationally, she says. And now, according to a new study, users online dating sites spend most of their time trying to contact people out of their league. And this is why so many of these people are single. You got both men and women that are trying to date people who it's not going to work. Unless, and I will say this though, I think it's easier to date outside of your quote unquote league if you know a person personally. Like if you're around them at work or you're around them at school, let's say you're attending the same university and you want to date outside of your league, is different because you're around that person personally. So you're able to view their personality, how they dress, and those traits may attract that person who's out of your league to you than it would online. Okay? Because there are a lot of people who are visual now because everything is more visual these days, you know? In fact, most online dating users tend to message people exactly 25% more desirable than they are. Birch would know. She spent the past few years studying how people make decisions and pursue partners online dating sites using exclusive data from the dating sites themselves. There's so much folk wisdom about dating and courtship and very little scientific evidence. That's because people hate science. But there really is no science in you seeing a person, you being attracted to that person, and you choosing whether or not you want to approach that person or whether that person wants to approach you. My research comes out of realizing that with these large-scale data sets, we can shed light on a lot of these old dating aphorisms. Let's see. I think that's it for this one. I will say this though. I think that we as a people nowadays, we have to learn how to better ourselves because we can take as much advice as we possibly can, right? But at the end of the day, we got to take those steps in order to pursue what we want. But you got to understand that there's a very good chance of you getting curved. There's a very good chance of you being rejected. And you have to be prepared for that. But a lot of people aren't. Some people just cannot handle rejection. And online dating, there's going to be a lot of rejection, you know, and you need to be prepared for it. And you need to understand what likes you and you like them. I'm all for liking people who like you. I think that makes things a lot more simple.